The car industry is racing toward a future filled with electric vehicles, self-driving technology, and constant innovation. But is this high-speed pursuit driving companies to success, or straight off a cliff? From skyrocketing R&D costs to a growing list of failed startups, automakers are struggling to balance cutting-edge technology with consumer expectations for reliability and affordability. In this video, we explore how the industry's obsession with progress has created new challenges and risks, leaving even the biggest brands behind. Is the drive to innovate reshaping transportation or putting the brakes on an entire market? Let's find out. Over the past 2 decades, the car industry has transformed at a pace that seems almost too fast to follow. What used to be a relatively predictable market, focused on reliable engineering and incremental improvements, has become a high-stakes race to redefine the future of transportation. The push for innovation, spurred by technological advancements and environmental imperatives, has changed how automakers operate, but it's also revealed a surprising paradox. As companies strive to stay ahead of the curve, they've begun to risk alienating the very customers they aim to attract by selling technology platforms on wheels, rather than reliable and dependable cars. This shift has forced traditional brands to take on roles that resemble Silicon Valley startups more than industrial titans, pouring billions into research and development to keep up. The era of electrification, the shift to electric vehicles, EVs, is nothing short of a revolution, fueled by a global push to cut emissions and break our reliance on fossil fuels. Governments everywhere are setting ambitious carbon-neutral targets, sweetening the deal with subsidies and strict regulations to steer automakers toward electrification. In response, car manufacturers have poured over $500 billion into electric platforms, batteries, and factories. It's a staggering transformation, but it's anything but smooth sailing. While EVs were hailed as the future of mobility, the road has been bumpier than expected. In addition to rivaling one another, established automakers are also facing an increasing number of new competitors from nations like China. Chinese producers have gained the lead because of their mass-produced, reasonably priced EVs and sophisticated battery networks. Brands like Hyundai and Kia are stealing the spotlight with sleek designs and cutting-edge tech, winning fans worldwide. But all this innovation hasn't completely won over consumers. High prices, a poor charging infrastructure, and concerns about how quickly today's tech might become yesterday's news have many buyers hesitant. Instead of diving into the EV market, some are watching from the sidelines, waiting for the dust to settle. As automakers push forward, challenges around scale, competition, and trust keep mounting. EVs may be the future, but the journey there is proving longer and more complicated than anyone expected, potentially stalling what was supposed to be an industry-defining shift. The case study of Jaguar. Jaguar, once the crown jewel of British luxury, has watched its shine fade over the years. Once a formidable rival to the likes of Mercedes-Benz and BMW, the brand has struggled to keep up in a market that demands both cutting-edge innovation and unshakable reliability. Jaguar's fall wasn't due to a single dramatic failure. It was a slow, steady unraveling caused by a string of missteps that chipped away at consumer trust. While competitors refined their engineering, Jaguar became known for cars that spent more time in the shop than on the road. Electrical glitches, underwhelming fuel economy, and steep repair costs turned potential buyers into skeptics. Even the I-Pace, Jaguar's ambitious electric SUV meant to rival Tesla, fell flat with its unimpressive range, outdated tech, and eye-watering price tag. When even the allure of Jaguar's premium brand couldn't make up for these flaws, it was clear the wheels were coming off. In a bold, and some might say desperate, move, Jaguar hit pause on car production altogether, opting to reimagine itself with a sleek new logo and a marketing strategy focused on identity instead of vehicles. It was an awkward pivot, but it also highlighted the growing identity crisis for legacy car makers trying to stay relevant in a fast-changing industry. Jaguar's story is a cautionary tale of what happens when a brand coasts on prestige instead of evolving with purpose. Whether its rebranding gamble will pay off remains to be seen, but one thing is clear: even the most iconic names aren't immune to the perils of innovation without a plan. Industry-wide challenges. The automotive industry's shift toward electric vehicles, EVs, has set off a chain reaction of challenges that no automaker can afford to ignore. Governments eager to promote domestic production have imposed heavy sanctions and tariffs on inexpensive EV imports, particularly from China, where battery supply chains and manufacturing efficiencies have led to competitively priced vehicles. This has left companies like Volvo, whose EVs rely heavily on Chinese production, scrambling to adapt or risk being priced out of key markets like the United States. At the same time, the financial incentives that helped propel early EV adoption are drying up. Subsidies and tax credits, once crucial in offsetting the premium cost of electric cars, are being scaled back or eliminated entirely in many regions. For consumers, this means higher upfront costs with no immediate payoff, a hard sell in a time of rising living expenses. Even for those willing to invest, dissatisfaction is growing. A recent survey by McKinsey revealed that nearly half of current EV owners, 46%, are considering returning to internal combustion engines for their next vehicle. The primary reason being persistent issues with charging infrastructure. Long waits, unreliable chargers, and limited availability in rural areas make EV ownership far less convenient than it should be. The turmoil hasn't spared the wave of new EV companies either. Brands like Fisker, Rivian, and Lucid Motors entered the market with ambitious designs and cutting-edge technology. Yet many of these companies are hemorrhaging money, struggling to compete against Tesla while simultaneously proving their worth to skeptical buyers. Fisker has already gone under, while others survive only through massive investments that are unsustainable in the long term. These challenges paint a stark picture. The path to electrification is paved with obstacles, and the industry must navigate them carefully or risk leaving both companies and consumers stranded. The innovation trap. The auto industry's obsession with constant innovation is starting to look like a hamster wheel nobody can get off. Automakers are churning out new or updated models faster than ever, often tweaking designs every year to keep up with regulations and consumer demand. On paper, that sounds great, until you realize it's making cars obsolete almost as soon as they roll off the lot. Buyers, understandably, are holding off, worried that their shiny new car will look outdated in no time. The result? A frustrating cycle of hesitant buyers and slowing sales. Adding to the chaos is the sheer number of choices. With automakers flooding the market with models of every size, shape, and powertrain, the once distinct identities of brands are getting muddled. Shoppers now face a dizzying array of compact SUVs, EVs, hybrids, and more, all with endless trim options. Instead of excitement, this oversaturation often leaves people confused and unsure of where to put their trust. Regulations make things even trickier. Incorporating the latest emissions tech and safety features drives up production costs, which get passed to the buyer, many of whom would rather pay less for something reliable than shell out for features they don't fully appreciate. And then there's the tech itself. With so much focus on being cutting edge, glitches and recalls are becoming alarmingly common. That fancy new feature is great until it doesn't work, leaving customers frustrated and automakers footing the bill for expensive fixes. While this innovation game grabs attention in the short term, it risks alienating buyers and stretching automakers thin, jeopardizing the very progress it aims to achieve. Toyota, a counterexample. Toyota has been the steady hand in an industry obsessed with speed, not just on the road but in how quickly it churns out new tech. While rivals race to outdo each other with flashy features and rapid updates, Toyota has stuck to what it does best: reliability. Its cars are built to last, often outliving their owners' expectations, and that's earned the company a fiercely loyal customer base. Ask anyone shopping for a used car and they'll tell you that a Toyota is as close as it gets to a sure thing in today's unpredictable market. However, even Toyota hasn't been able to dodge the industry's shifting priorities. The push for smaller, more efficient engines has meant saying goodbye to some of its famously robust and low-maintenance powertrains. These engines have been replaced by high-strung engines that are better for fuel economy but introduce more complexity and, occasionally, reliability issues. These hiccups, while rare, have been magnified by social media, where a single viral video of a smoking Corolla can damage decades of dependability. The stakes are especially high for Toyota, a brand that thrives on trust. While its approach to innovation, slow, steady, and customer-focused, still sets it apart, it's being tested like never before. Balancing new industry demands without losing the reliability that made Toyota a household name is proving to be its biggest challenge yet. If it can navigate this tightrope, it might just offer a playbook for other automakers struggling to stay grounded in an era of relentless change. So, what do you think about the challenges facing the car industry? Are automakers driving themselves into a corner, or is this just part of the road to progress? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the stories shaping industries worldwide. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.